So the heart of the exhibition space, and you can see lots of different things, particularly this incredible sort of mapping of what's happening in terms of energy and process automation. Mike, you're joining me now, and one of the things that struck me is you represent the UK, you're part of a global family here. What have you made of all of this that almost for me, as an outsider, it's like there's about 20 or 30 different businesses all sitting under one place, representing the world?
Yeah, it's a great point, Sumit, and I think the challenge here is to show really the diversity of what Schneider is building. And we are starting our sustainability and energy management story at the generation side and picking it up and really carrying it the whole way through, right through to the domestic consumer. And what you see here today is what are our solutions for all the different pieces of the journey along that, and all the different types of customers, from data centers to hospitals to industry to microgrid. So really, really, really exciting to see everything coming together in a story like that.
What do you feel when you talk to your fellow execs and you get together in a place like this? You're probably all busy anyway, but you get a chance to meet. How do you see the energy sort of sustainability picture Europe-wide?
Oh, I think what's very exciting for us as Schneider right now is, we've been on this energy sustainability story for quite some time. Our headquarters in Paris, for example, was the first building in the world to be certified to the new energy standards. But to see that topic gathering now in the public and in the political domain as well, and really becoming core around how do we manage energy better, how do we manage the sustainability, and how do we look at the whole survivability of the planet, it's just a super exciting time.
Your boss, the boss of the company, spoke this morning and he said, inevitably, we're on this sustainable journey because it makes business sense. So in the press conference afterwards. Do you think the message is getting through to businesses? Because their biggest problem, we all know the uncertain times we're living in, is to make that investment in things that will be energy efficient. The payback is too long for a lot of FDs and a lot of CEOs. So how does that message that actually, guys, inevitably, this is what your business will have to do? When you have negotiations with people, is that getting through?
Yeah, I think it is. I think again, what's happening in the macro environment, particularly around the whole environment story, it's really moving on from, the original message was it's not just good for the planet, it's good for the pocket. Okay. Now then you get into your ROI discussion and paybacks, etc. But what's happening now is it's flipping even further and saying, well, what happens if you don't have a business? What happens if people just don't even buy your product anymore because you're seen to be on the naughty step from an environmental point of view? So the ROI discussion has evolved more into a survivability topic. And we talked a little bit about that before in the single-use plastics market, where things are super visible. I'm sure you've seen that in your personal life, where you start to change your decisions. Okay, in the energy market, we're seeing exactly the same.
The thing is with the energy side is you don't see it, it's invisible.
Correct.
That display behind you is showing you the energy that's used in the refinery and how you can monitor it. But for day-to-day businesses, it's still one of those things that is not as consciously seen. What are you trying to do to address that as yourself, right, leading the team in the UK, but also the company wider?
Yeah, sure. So I think a couple of things there. I think, first of all of this great technology that you're seeing here is helping companies to make that visible. And saying, look, if you're serious about managing your energy, your carbon footprint, your sustainability, the solutions are all here, okay? So it's not a tech problem anymore, right? The second part of the equation of that is really what's coming from that external environment, okay? Now, we know the UK market very well, and the UK has just legally signed up to net zero by 2050. So what you're going to see is a lot of government regulation pushing that. You already see a lot of the investor community starting to view risk around, is this business going to be something that can make the sustainability curve? So I think it's a combination of saying the tech is there to solve the problem, or at least to make the issues visible. It's now that external environment that is actually pushing this topic along very heavily at the moment.
How do you feel looking at the way things are? Many of your competitors are either quietening down or changing tack. For you as a company, you've committed here today to your green targets, you're cleaning up, you're going to carbon neutrality and carbon zero. Are you doing that from the bottom up. So when you go and meet a client, are you saying, actually, do you know what? The bit of kit I'll put you into it, I know its life cycle. I know how I'm going to recycle it.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing in terms of how I give you that so that you know that that product is as sustainable as it can be.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, that's a great topic. There's a lot of greenwashing going on in the market.
Absolutely.
And again,
buy now and it'll be green tomorrow.
yeah, and suddenly we're
absolutely.
super green, etc. So I mean, again, the nice thing about Schneider, as I said, we've been talking about that a long time already. It's not like we've suddenly just woken up to that. So the green topic sustainability has been part of our corporate culture for years. Okay, now, we feel there's a huge emphasis on us to show some leadership in that, not just going out talking about that, but actually showing how do we use this technology.
Yeah, because you've got factories, you've got...
We've got, as we showed today. So I mean, from the UK point of view, again, just to give you an example, I have visibility of 97% of my energy consumption on a dashboard.
Of the Schneider business in the UK.
Of the Schneider footprint in the UK and Ireland on a dashboard. I can guarantee
You're trying to get the other 3%, right?
And that's a nice part of the challenge, because you're talking about a building that's leased and maybe the landlord isn't quite there yet, and you say, can I put in a meter? And maybe yes, maybe no. But 97% is not bad, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I have a beautiful dashboard that shows me what is my energy consumption per square foot in my office in London compared to every other office I have across. And we're reducing our energy consumption over 5% a year for the last 3 years. We're reducing our water consumption, reducing our carbon footprint. So we're walking the talk, okay? Now that's in the use of the technology to make energy consumption visible. The second part, as you talked about, is how we design new products. So we have this green premium topic we talk about, where all new products are designed with recyclable materials inside. So we believe we're walking the talk. We don't believe by any means we're there yet. We have big aspirations in terms of how can we be better and better and better at that.
And finally, the thing that I saw today, and with respect, there's a lot of big companies that buy into this message alongside you. How do you have an offering that will help the SME sector, particularly in the UK? We know, we've discussed this, you and I, about energy efficiency in buildings. We've discussed about landlords and that whole portfolio. But loads of businesses might say, Mike, that's great. If you're a big company like a Microsoft or Google, they'll definitely buy and invest in this. What have you got to help those smaller companies, smaller businesses, try and put that in if they want to, but they feel they haven't got that economic power?
Yeah, and it's back to that decision-making chain where, if you're renting an office in a large building, do you have the ability to influence the landlord, etc. around that? I believe, again, the dynamics on that are changing. Okay, because it's not only the big companies that want to be seen to be sustainable and efficient. You heard our CEO Jean-Pascal talking about that today, that we're extending that to our entire supply chain. Now, if all of the larger companies do that and say all of our SME suppliers, etc., you have to do that, all of those companies start. So it's not you anymore in one office in the building, it's now you and the rest of the people in the building. So I think the industry is going to arrive at a tipping point. And again, the technology is there. It's not the technology will get better and better, but today there's already enough to start that journey.